In this video we will try to see all the main packages, how to import them and what these packages actually do. So first package is NumPy. Python do not have the capability to work with arrays. NumPy basically allows that. NumPy is for fast operation, mathematical operation. It allows us to create vectors, matrices, and many mathematical and logical shape manipulation we can do using this NumPy package. This package is a foundation package which allows us to work, or it's a building block for many other high level scientific Python packages also. So to import this package we need to import NumPy as NP, as most people do. NP is the short name, the nickname for this package. So if we want to call this any function of this package, we will be able to call it. So firstly we are trying to define a array, NumPy array. Array is just like if a 1D array, it would be just like an array. So np.array function will allow us to define an array. So I'm defining an array in the parentheses. I would be just calling the function, and by the brackets or the square bracket I would be using all the input values that I want to put in the array. So 9000, 8500, and these are the values that I'm trying to build an array of. So let's just move to our code and we will see how to install and work with NumPy. So I'm importing NumPy as MP, and with this second line I'm just defining a NumPy array with all the values like 6 and 7 values of income values that I want to put it in NumPy array. I would just import, and we can see in the variable explorer that we have a NumPy array of 7 values, and which has only one dimension. There is nothing after the comma, meaning that this is a 1D array. So if I want to see all the values and want to print all the values in income, I can just print the income and it will just show us all the array. And if I want to call just one value or single value by the index of that array, I can just use similarly what we did in list or string or dictionary. I can just use the index value 0 in the array, and I would be able to call the first value in the array, which is 9000. Here you can see in output. We can also do some mathematical operation on each value. Like if I want to multiply each value by 0.65, I can do it. I'm defining one more array which would be a income expenses array, which would be more 0.65 multiplication of the income array, meaning each and every variable or each and every value in this array would be multiplied by 0.65. So if I run it, we see that we have defined a new array, and which is multiplication of income into 0.65. If I try to print this, and I can see the values, each and every value of the in this array. So, and if I want to create a new array, or in a table if I want to create a new column in a sense, so if I want to create a new array of saving, if I do income minus expenses, meaning that index by index, like index 0 of income minus index 0 of expenses would be our solution. So index by index, there would be multiplication or any operation that I want to do. So I'm defining a new array of saving, which is income minus expenses, and if I try to print that, I can see all the value by the index, they are subtracted by income values are subtracted by expenses. Next package is Python package of Panda. So Panda packages are data frame package. It allows us to import CSV file, any data file, and so we can work on it. It's similarly, it creates a data frame, so we can work on the data frame, and we can manipulate the data frame. We can work as a data structure on it and perform few operation, and numerical tables if we have, we can also do some modification calculation on them. Okay, so to import the Pandas package, which is for data frame, we import pandas as pd, and to import any CSV file we use pd.readcsv, and the address in the parentheses we just put the address where the dataset has been written. We can print the dataset and we can see the dataset, and every column of that data frame can be called by just using the name of that data frame dot the name of the column. and if we want to get any single value of that particular column, we can do it by the name of the column, and by the index we can call the value. And if we want to call the value from 1 to 10, we can just use in the square brackets the 0 to 10, so it will give us output till 10 values. Like here we will try to work with that. We will first import the pandas package as pd, and to call the function and to import the CSV file, we use pd.readcsv or pandas.readcsv. Here we can also write pandas, but the nickname that we have defined for pandas is pd, so we are using that. And if I just import the package, I can, in the variable explorer, I can see that I have imported the CSV file as a data frame in the package. If I double click on it, it will allow me to see all the values in this data frame. I'm going to close it, and right now we can see that there are 4 columns. One is index, age, gender and bot. Index is a default column given by the PD. We can remove it, and we will discuss it further in later video or later sessions. If I want to just print the data frame, I can just use the print, and the data frame would be, we would be able to see the data frame in our console. Next thing, if I want to call a column, whole column, I can use just the name of the data frame dot the column name, and we would be able to see all the values in that particular column. Just like that, we can do it for gender also. Now if I want to call a single value of this age column, so what I can do is call it by index. So for that, I just go to the name data frame dot the name of the column, and then in square bracket, if I want to call the index value 1, for example, I'm calling the index value 1, I will select it and run it. The 34 index value at 1 is printed. And if I want to print 0 to 10 or 2 to 10, if I can just 2 to 10 I can select, and if I run it, I can see the values from index number 2 to index number till the index number or 10th value we would be able to see. The last value here you see is the 10th value, not actually the index number. That's the very important part to see. The first value that you see is actually the index value, and the last you see is the 10th value. Here if I write 9, so it would be the 9th value, meaning that it would have index number 10, but the 9th value would be called. So I'm here just running that, and here we can see that we already run this code, and 9 till 9 index or 10th value, which is 48, has been printed over here. The next package we need to discuss is the Matplotlib. This is a plotting library very similar to Matlablib. It has been imported from Matlab, and it has been wrapped around a Python code, so we can just use it in Python. Just because Python do not have plotting capabilities, that's why we need to import the Matplotlib library to draw any kind of plots. So how it works, we will see in the code. So to work or use any or plot any diagram, we need to import first Matplotlib as MP, and in the next part we are trying to use NumPy to generate some few random variables, and so that we can generate some number and plot them in using our Matplotlib as MP. So I'm just importing the NumPy as NP, and x and y, here the function, you see the value of x, we are just creating some random variables by using the capability of NP, meaning NumPy. From NumPy I'm generating some numbers, random numbers, and the numbers would follow normal distribution. So x and y, I'm just randomly I'm generating a few numbers, and if I want to sketch a plot, scatter plot between x and y, I will just call the MP and the function pyplot, and in there is a sub function called scatter, which will allow us to plot a scatter plot between x and y. So if I run this code, we can see in the console we see a plot scatter plot between value x and y. Next and very important package is Scikit-Learn. Okay, Scikit-Learn is the machine learning package for us. Most of the machine learning libraries or most of the machine learning algorithms or whatever you want to call it, are pre-built in this great Python package, which is Scikit-Learn. If you want to visit the Scikit-Learn website, scikit.org is the website. You can visit that and you can find many and many basic to very hardcore machine learning algorithm, and you can just import them. You have to just feed the values of x's and y's, meaning the predictor variables and predictive variables. If you just feed them the value, the machine learning algorithm will definitely basically work, and you can just use with few lines of code to train a whole algorithm. You don't have to work a lot on that. So we will see how this algorithm works and how to install the scikit or import the scikit and how to work with that. So you will go to the code, and here we are trying to install a Scikit-Learn. So first we will import the Pandas as PD, because we want to import a data frame to work with our scikit function to train any algorithm. You don't have to import the Pandas every time you are trying to import any CSV file, but first time if you have installed or imported the Pandas, the next time it will always be in your console, so you don't have to use again and again. So I will import the air passenger CSV file, and then if I want to see some few rows or all the rows of this or column of this data, I can just use print, and this will print all the every detail about this data frame. And we can also go to the variable explorer and double click on the data frame, and it will show us the whole data frame over here. So we can see that all the columns are here, and if you want to just see the dimension of that data frame, we can see that there are 9 columns and 80 rows, and this is the type is a data frame. Now the thing is with Python is that every time we are trying to train any algorithm, we need to have the shape of that column or shape of the input in a particular way, which has to be like every value should be a part of an array. So to do that we use reshape function. Firstly we are trying to train with the x value, which is x with x variable, which is from air passenger. We are taking the column name promotion budget. In last session video we saw that from Panda we can if we want to reach to any column name, or if we want to reach to a column name from any data frame, we can do is x equal to ar passenger, and then use the dot and use the name of the column to reach that column. These both methods are fine, but they have their own different use cases. In sometimes we will need to use a square bracket to reach that column name. Sometimes we would be able to just get by using a dot after and to call the column. So there are different use cases, and we will why they are important and which one to use at what time we will discuss in our further lectures or further videos. So I am just first defining a x variable, and I'm just taking the column name promotion budget. So x has been defined, and the value of if I want to see the x how it looks like, we can see this is how the x looks like. But to feed into any machine learning algorithm we need to have a particular shape of it. So we will use the reshape function -1 to 1, meaning that it will give us a we will run it and we will see it, and you would be able to understand how it looks like if once we reshape it. So here you can see that every value has been closed in a square bracket, meaning that every value is different. Every value represents one part of a array. So each value is independent right now. So it would be this is the way how our scikit takes our input variables. Just like that, we will just reshape our y variables. Y variable is our passenger number of passengers that we want, and we will reshape the y, and again this shape of y would be similar to what we saw of x. And now comes the main part of training a model. So Scikit-Learn can be imported by Scikit-Learn or sklearn. So if we want to import any if we want to work with linear models, what we do is from Scikit-Learn or sklearn we import the linear model. What it will do is all the linear model function that we have in sklearn will be imported. So we will just use this, and with control enter we will just import all the linear models of sklearn. Now we have to define a the algorithm or the machine learning algorithm that we want to use. So we have imported linear models. So from linear model part of the Scikit-Learn package, we will go to the function which is linear regression, and this is how we will define the algorithm that we want to use. Now to train the algorithm, what we need to do is we need to use the fit function, which is and then give the input values which are x comma y. Always remember, first we will give the name of input variable or x, and y would be our predictor variable. So we fit the model with dot fit for method, and once we have fitted the model, so everything is complete. And now if we want to, we can use further, there are more functions in after fitting the model which we can use to call different things. Like once I have fitted the model, I want to call the coefficient of x. So if I want to call that, I would just use the name of the model dot coef underscore. This will give us the coefficient of x after training the model. Like this, we can see that coefficient of x is 0.6952. That's it. So this is how we can use Scikit-Learn. This was all the basics about how to use some of the very important Python packages. Every package would be discussed very in deep in our next sessions, and how to use them and how to train machine learning algorithms and everything we will cover.